Okay, welcome back, and it's lovely to see you. And let's talk about some negative, I don't know, but like, how do we throw negatives into radicals and rational exponents? All right, how do we deal with that? So let's look at two situations here, pre-wrote on the whiteboard for you. Start here with number one. We've got the third root of negative 27. Okay, the good news is, it really is all pretty much the same thing. I mean, so let's just draw the picture like we kind of have learned in the last video. So what does this mean to us? What it should mean to us is in 3 timesy counts, right? In 3 multiplications, we got to get to 27. So let's just draw it and see kind of how we feel about it at that point. All right. Oh, not 27, negative 27. Now we can do that because if you multiply by a negative number and you do an odd number of those multiplications, you're going to end up with a negative number, right? So here, it's actually just totally okay because it just simply means that we must be multiplying by a negative. In this case, negative 3. So what we get is we get 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, times negative 3 is positive 9, and then negative 27. So if you've got an odd number in that index, you can have a negative number inside the radical without the need for the imaginary unit, right? So as long as that's odd, this can be negative. So there we go. So what's that going to equal? It's going to equal negative 3. So let me make that green, right? It's going to equal negative 3. Wonderful. Let's switch over to here. Oh, I think maybe I should do quick. Let's just rewrite it in the other form. So it's negative 27. I might put that into parentheses raised to the 1/3. All right, because this is the whole. The negative is part of the base, right? So it should be negative 27 raised to the 1/3. Okay, so let's look over here. 8 to the negative 2/3. I don't know, I smile when I look at that problem because it has such a beautiful answer and it feels complicated, but again, let's just kind of draw the picture and see where we're at. So what do we know about this? Well, the multiplier is positive 8. That's the first thing I tell students. I'm like, look, the thing you're multiplying by is positive. Let me change the damn color then. I'm going to take this 8, I'm going to make it this color. That is a positive 8, people. Your answer has to be a positive number because the thing you're multiplying by is positive. So let me show you what that would be, right? So we have that big times 8. Big times 8 right there. Now, 1, we're not multiplying once, right? This is a fraction. It's actually less than 1 time, and it's negative. But all the negative means is that you're going to go the opposite direction. Yeah. So like, look, let's break it into thirds. All right. Now, we want 2 of the thirds, but we want to go the opposite way. So just like this would have been, say, the first count, second count, third count. So we must be multiplying by 2. That's how you get to 8 in 2 counts, right? So we start at 1 and we get to 2 and 4. We put the 1 here. I'm gonna have to erase some of that because minus 2/3 just says we're going in the opposite direction. Going in the opposite direction. So here, this would of course be 1/8, right? Because if this pattern is to hold, and you're going to be at 1, then 1 step before, you need to be at 1/8, because 1/8 times 8 is 1. And we're going to back this up. And it says, oh, actually what we want to do is we want negative 2/3. We want to go in the opposite direction. So, but we're always, it's an infinite amount of times 2's. Infinite amount of times 2's. So we're going to have this would have to be 1/2, because 1/2 times 2 is 1. Remember, you're going against the tide of multiplying by 2, so you could think that you're dividing by 2. And so now you get to 1/4, and that's what this one is. So it's actually going to be equal to 1/4. Another way we could do it is switch it into radical form. We switch it into radical form, it looks like this. We got 8. We got the denominators, the third root of 8, and we raise it to the -2. Which maybe makes more sense in this case, because really what we have here is the third root of 8, that is 2. That's how you multiply to 8 in 3 steps. Now 2 to the -2, you could remember as an exponent rule, right? That would be 1/2 squared, which is 1/4. Or you can think about it like this. Let me draw it real quick. Okay, I don't know if this picture worked out as well as I was kind of hoping it would, but regardless, 2 to the -2 just says count by times 2, backwards 2 steps, right? So if this is like forward 2 steps, and you're at 2 and 4, backwards 2 steps, you'd have to be at 1/2 and 1/4. So again, you get to 1/4. Because when you go like against the tide of multiplication, you divide, right? But one of the things I want you to remember is that this ain't gonna be a negative number, because the thing you're multiplying by is positive. So your answer has to be positive. Hey, just as I finished that, the sun came out. See, this is my classroom. That's what it looks like. There's the windows. There we go. Little window into the room. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, take care.